you so much. It's nice to meet everybody. I do want to be aware of questions that are being asked, but do give me a couple seconds just because I am kind of trying to manage the presentation and the questions at the same time, so I will do my best. For today's meeting, I'm really going to walk you through a little bit about our company, how we got involved in video and web conferencing, and then focus a little bit on our products, specifically related to education, different use cases, and features that are relevant to things that you guys are all doing out there. Obviously, this is for you guys though, so if there are certain areas you want me to focus on, just let me know via the chat or the live Q&A. And again, I'll try to get all the questions answered, and I will leave some time at the end as well. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. Give me 1 second here. And there we go. Let me go ahead and get this in the right view here. All right. So for today's meeting, I'm going to be talking obviously about Zoom. So Zoom has been, we went to market probably about 4.5, 5 years ago. So we are a fairly new product in the market today. That being said, our actual team has been around for quite some time. Our CEO actually was the VP of engineering over at WebEx, and he literally is the individual that did a big majority of the coding and the development of the WebEx meeting tool. And WebEx was really one of the very first to allow us all to connect together and share information across the internet. As technology increased and we started using more type of devices, there was this thing called the cloud that nobody really knew what it was at the time. Things needed to change in addition to video and web conferencing. There was a really large disconnect between the meeting solutions that we were using and the big conference room systems for video conferencing at the time. And Eric's idea was we really need these two products or these two ideas to kind of work together. He knew video was going to be a very large need in the future. He could just see the trend that was going that way. People wanted to start seeing each other. I mean, I think a lot of us had that idea from like the Jetsons way back in the day and wanted to be able to see each other on videos, on phones, and here we are today with that. He presented his ideas and they said, we're not ready. And so obviously he left and he started developing what you all know as Zoom today. He took his dream team of engineers from WebEx and they really spent a little over a year just developing the product. He shared it with everybody, what their thoughts are, and that's really what we ended up today. Education has been our most successful vertical. I think there's a lot of reasons for that. I'll kind of dig a little bit deeper. But to date, we have over 100,000 different universities, schools, colleges, K through 12, using Zoom today. And I think it really boils down to the fact that we try to be the all-in-one product. So we allow you to connect online. We allow you to chat with people. We also are big components of sharing information and sharing the video piece. All right, let me go ahead and through this slide here. Oh, sorry, let's see here. Sorry, you guys, I'm having issues with I'm on my laptop today. Here we go. Oh, come on. One second here. All right, there we go. Right, there we go. Oops, sorry, you guys. There we go. That's what I wanted. Sorry about that. It's technical issues. So just to kind of recap, Zoom was founded in 2011. Our team really spent a lot of time, like I said, developing the product. Today, we have about 15 billion annual minutes, and those are individuals connecting into these meetings. I started about 4.5 years ago, and we were excited to reach 100,000 minutes, and now we're already at 15 billion plus. This right here is already outdated. As you can see, it says 5,800 educational institutions. Marketing is providing an update because we're closer to about 100,000 today. A lot of businesses as well. And we are very well funded. When I came and joined Zoom, I came from a different company. One of the things I loved is that we had positive cash flow. We were not in debt, and we're still not in debt. Really what that translates for you guys is our plans are not to be sold. Our plans are not to be bought out, and we aren't going anywhere. We are in it to win it, and that's what we want to do. Why we made Zoom, and this really goes back to Eric's story. This gentleman that you see on the right is our CEO and is the individual I was talking about earlier, that VP of engineering from WebEx. He really went to WebEx and pitched what he thought was going to happen. And there was a lot of issues, as I mentioned. Legacy systems, those big conference room systems, were very expensive. They were very complex. They didn't play well with other solutions. Out of those ideas and those issues is where Zoom was created and born from. And then we created this solution, again, that does everything all in one. And so I'll get a little deeper into that. These are just some of your cohorts that are using Zoom today. If anybody is ever interested, we also have some fantastic white papers and use cases, ways that different colleges and schools are using Zoom. A lot of my current customers get other ideas. I'm always happy to share our referrals too. If you physically want to speak to someone, visit another campus, and really understand how they're using the product today too. There's so many different ways that you can use it. So Zoom really wanted to focus on the changing technology that you guys were going through. How are people using the solution? The old idea of an actual physical classroom, it's changed. You know, you've got people that want to connect remotely. They're using their smartphones for everything, and they want to do it very easily. And not only is it expanding our reach, it's allowing people to connect from any location and from any device. What we're in right now is our webinar solution. We can actually accommodate up to 10,000 people in this environment. We also have our meeting solution, where it's a little more of an informal environment. In that product, everybody has the ability to share audio, so we can all talk to each other. We all have the ability to share a video feed. So for those of you that have a video camera or are comfortable being on camera, I guess, you also can share your video feed. And we all have the ability to share content, share your desktop, your laptop, your screen, documents. With our meeting solution, we can accommodate up to 500 total participants. That also translates to 500 video feeds and 500 people speaking. So in the Zoom environment, you can literally see all 500 people in a meeting if you want to. This goes a little bit deeper into each product. So I will touch on all of these. Again, I'll leave it open, I think, towards the end for an additional questions, and I'll touch on a lot of those questions if you don't mind holding off. We have our meeting solution. Again, everybody can share audio, video, and content. For education specifically, it's typically used in that classroom environment. Those virtual office hours for teachers, study groups for the students. We also have instant messaging. This refers to an external messaging product. It's part of our application. It's baked into our tool today. This allows you to not only message people back and forth, but you can instantly connect to people if you want to. Very similar to like Google Hangouts or Google Skype. But again, it's part of our product. There's no additional charge, it's just with our license fee. What we're in today, as we've mentioned, is that video webinar product. Again, very meant for large audiences. The webinar solution is typically used when you have a few key presenters speaking to the masses. We can accommodate up to 10,000 people. And honestly, I know we've done more. So if you ever have a need for more than that, just let us know and we can do it for you. On the bottom left side, you see Zoom Rooms. Zoom Rooms was the very first software-based video conference room in a physical location. So what Zoom Rooms is built for that conference room environment or that physical classroom environment. and it allows you to connect with other individuals. Zoom Room differs than our meeting solution. Our meeting solution is assigned to an actual person that will allow that person to schedule or host their own meetings, just like I'm doing today. Zoom Rooms is actually assigned to a physical space, so an actual conference room or a classroom. And it will integrate with your hardware. So if you have an existing monitor in there, a speaker phone, web cameras, everything connects together, and it allows you to conference, so to speak, with other locations or other individuals that might be joining from their location, their phones, their iPads. Next to that, you'll see that we have what we call our room connector, H.323 or SIP connector. It's the same thing. If you do have any existing Polycom systems, Cisco systems, Tandberg, we will allow those systems to also join our sessions. So again, you can really join from any type of device, your laptops, Mac, PC, as well as your existing conference room systems. If you don't have existing conference room systems, that's where Zoom Rooms could come into play. Or if you're looking at replacing, maybe your conference systems are end of life, their maintenance fees are coming up. Zoom Rooms is a good option for that. And then finally, on that bottom right, our developer platform. We are very huge components of really giving our customers what they want. So not only do we allow you to customize the product, build in certain integrations that you might need that maybe we don't have yet, but feature requests or things that you want or need, we want to know. And I would say probably about 95% of the features that we have today have come directly from customer request. So we really do listen, and we want to know if we are lacking. Let's get it added for you. We can create that for you. All right, deeper dive into that chat tool. Instant messaging and presence is what we've called it. I call it external chat, but again, it's sort of like that Google or Skype. With our chat product, you have the ability to send, obviously, text or messages, but you can also send images, audio files, pictures. A lot of teachers that I work with today use this for their homework assignments. They'll send them out to their students. Students can send it back. They're not necessarily connecting into a meeting. It's more of a conversation back and forth. With this, you can also have a repository of all of those files and documentations. So whether the student needs to go back and research and find a document, or something that perhaps you've sent out to students or an associate, you have everything saved within the application itself. It also allows you to instantly connect and start a meeting with someone. I don't know if you guys can see that image very well, but right there on that iPhone picture, you can see there's a list of all of your contacts. These contacts can be custom to whoever you want involved or as a contact. You have the ability to see if they're available, and if they're not, there'll be a little red dot to the right. If they are, there's a little green dot. I could even customize a little note if I can say something like, currently, I'm busy, I will follow up shortly. So that's just the external chat piece. That's part of our application that you do get with Zoom. Next, deeper dive into webinars. This is what we are in today. So to recap, webinars are meant to reach the masses. You have a few key presenters speaking to a very large audience. You can have up to 50 panelists or co-presenters in the video webinar environment. What that means is, today, for example, I could have 49, or actually 48, including Kate, other individuals that have the ability to share audio and video or content. They could also be helping me on the back end, answering questions. You can have up to 10,000 attendees, as I mentioned, And we just announced integration for live streaming these events. So not only can you attend live, like most of you are today, you can also stream to Facebook or YouTube. I think we just added Workplace, or if you have a custom one, you can also do that if you use a third party. As far as scheduling these larger events, everything is done directly through your account, your actual Zoom license. And it's very simple. Zoom literally walks you through how to schedule step 1, 2, and 3. And on the back end, there's additional reporting. Every piece of information that you could possibly want, you can run a report on. You can see who registered, who might have attended the event, any questions that were asked, which I will probably do today just to make sure everybody gets their questions answered for follow-up. And as far as the attendees, your guys' side today, you have engagement tools. Obviously, most of you aren't sharing your video or talking today, but to keep you engaged, there is a polling feature, there's a chat feature, live Q&A, which I'm sure is being used right now. And if I needed to, I can also promote any of you to a panelist, which really just allows you to speak and share your video if you want to. A lot of the common use cases in education are related to admissions. We've seen a really big jump in use for admissions. People are starting to use it to get a message out to current high schools, current K through 12. And they'll launch these webinar events. They capture all the information of these students, and then they're assisting them in promoting their location when they're ready to go to school. Fundraising, obviously. Outreach, directly, you're trying to get a message out again to a very large audience. Orientation, we started pushing this in orientation for students. Brand new students are coming in. They're usually a little nervous, a little scared. A lot of times their parents are with them as well. It's a great way to get a message out and help alleviate those students and families having to travel. International students, obviously the outreach with international. I'm sure there's a lot of international programs going on, whether it's related to you or other locations. Again, a great way to help alleviate any of that traveling. You know, a lot of times they're not able to come here before they actually come for the school. So it's a great way for that. All right, and next, here we go. H.323 room connectors. A little deeper dive on this. So this refers to any existing conference room systems you might be using. A lot of time the administrative offices are using these. If you have other campus locations, you might be connecting using your Polycom or Lifesize or Cisco, or even classroom environment. We've seen those used. Zoom allows you to integrate with those services. So we really are working as a middleman, bridging that gap between these type of systems and allowing people to join from their phones, from their iPads, from their computers. Today, for the most part, if you're using a Polycom system for your video conferencing, you can only connect with another Polycom system. So Zoom bridges that gap and allows the capacity to be extended to other people. You can also integrate using Skype. So Skype and Zoom were competitors, but we also play well together. And so Zoom did develop an integration with Skype if anybody uses it out there. Our integration piece really allows you to launch a Zoom meeting directly from your Skype contacts, as well as host a Skype meeting within the Zoom cloud. So you get all the benefits of using our product and our network, but in your comfortable Skype environment. Zoom Rooms. So as a reminder, Zoom Rooms mimics what your Cisco or Polycom video conferencing solution does today. It's just in a software environment, if that makes sense. So if you have a Polycom system or a Cisco system, it's a piece of hardware. We've taken that idea and made it into a software application. So instead of having to purchase the Polycom unit, you're using a Zoom Room license. And with that, we will integrate with your existing hardware. your monitor, your speakerphone. A lot of use cases for the classroom environment because of this piece right here, the interactive touch displays. If you have monitors that are interactive, those touch displays, our Zoom Room product integrates with that. I've seen it done in a couple places, I think within the UC system, where it's pretty cool. They have the students coming up, they're able to connect not only with their other campuses, other schools, but it's all based on that interactive touch display. They can see it, touch it, feel it in a video and web conferencing type environment. All right. Zoom Rooms itself, whoa, okay, I think it just went stepped ahead, but that's okay, we'll go here. Zoom Rooms are really perfect for, I've mentioned this already, but the classroom environment, administrative offices, study rooms. We've even seen individual Zoom rooms built, and that's what that picture on the right is showing. It's a very small, kind of like a huddle room, where students can all go. They can connect with other people, again, in different locations, and have little study groups. And then finally, it was originally developed for the conference room. Now I'm going to take a little deeper dive into the features for education specifically. And this is what I'm talking about. Most of these features were added by our customers. They were all requests from other educational institutions, and we added them for you because obviously it made sense. Screen sharing, obviously you can do. That's what I'm doing right now. Zoom will allow you to share absolutely anything. So what I mean by that is I can share my desktop. I can share, if I have two different monitors on my computer, I can share one or the other. I can share YouTube videos that have embedded sound in them, and you guys would be able to hear that sound. I can share documents, PowerPoints, Excel sheets, images. We have whiteboards. Again, absolutely anything I can share. With Zoom, we're based around real-time collaboration. So you're not preloading anything. You don't have to make sure everything's ready before the meeting starts. I can instantly just get it ready on my device, prompted, and share it all in real time. You probably have noticed I brought up my, my laser pointer co-annotation. So if I want, I have the ability to highlight or draw here. In fact, let me grab this here, take a different color. I can highlight if I want to. I can draw shapes, sizes, anything that I want to. I can even change the colors of those if I want to. So I have a lot of functionality to really make sure that my attendees are paying attention to where I want them to focus. In addition to that, I have remote control. So what that refers to is, right now I'm sharing my PowerPoint. But let's say for argument's sake, I wanted to give somebody else control. I could grant keyboard and mouse control to anybody else that I might want to. So something might be shared from my computer, but somebody else is totally controlling that. Another use case for that refers to helping people. A lot of times you might have support people helping your faculty and staff, your students, maybe get signed up for something. That remote control piece comes in handy with that, because you can literally take over somebody else's screen, walk them through something and show them live versus, okay, do you see this? Okay, over there on the right, do you see that? I'm sure we've all been there. You also have the ability to record your sessions. So Zoom includes recording. You can record and save that locally, which means directly on your device, or you can save it within the Zoom cloud, where we are really hosting that recording file and saving it for you in our storage, not your storage. Our recordings are not proprietary. They are just a standard media file. And you can also upload those files to YouTube or Facebook to view as well. And you can password protect those. You can monitor who's viewed those recordings. The recording piece too, we just added audio transcription to it, which is the coolest thing ever. What it'll do is it'll actually type the text of everything that's being said in that recording. It was kind of originally launched for our business customers. People wanted to make sure they weren't missing important things in meetings, but students are loving it because they can record a lecture from a teacher and they can go back afterwards and they've got a complete transcript of everything that was said, and they can make sure they don't miss anything. Breakout rooms. Breakout rooms, I'm sure most of you know what those are, but the breakout rooms will allow you to kind of break off into little groups if you need to, little study sessions within Zoom. We have this, and you can customize where you want people to be in a breakout, or you can let Zoom do it for you. For example, I have 25 people in a meeting. I want to do 5 breakout rooms with 5 each. I can put people where I want them. I can move them around. I can push them to the breakout. I can bring them back to the main session. A lot of customization with that. As the host, I can also pop in and out of any of those breakout sessions if I want to monitor what's going on. But obviously I can't be in every single breakout at the same time. A really cool thing that I've seen done is with the video breakout sessions, the teachers are naming a breakout leader, quote unquote. They'll allow this breakout leader or this attendee the ability to record. Because with Zoom, not only can the host record, but I can give any of my attendees the ability to record too. So they'll name that breakout leader, give them the rights to the recording, and when they launch or push them out to those breakout rooms, that breakout leader records everything that's happening in that breakout session. End of the meeting, they send that file to the teacher. The teacher is able to see what was going on in every single one of those breakout rooms. And they weren't obviously in each of those breakout rooms. Next thing, LMS integration. Obviously, just specifically for education. This allows you to integrate with your learning management system. Your Moodle, Desire to Learn, Canvas, pretty much all of the learning management systems out there. Now, we took probably the top 5 or 6 and built that integration for you. What that means is we did all the legwork. All you have to do is turn it on and it'll start integrating together. That being said, if you're using a custom LMS system or you built your own, we will work with you and we will build a integration together because Zoom allows that developer side. So we can customize and build additional integrations if that is something that you need. Those LMS integrations, for example, with Canvas, etc., what it does is it allows the faculty and staff to associate a Zoom meeting ID or a meeting link with a specific course or class. Again, it's all about extending that reach. So if you do have students that need to join the class remotely, there is automatically a meeting link for Zoom that can be launched for those people to join. Depending which LMS system you use, the integrations vary a little bit in how they operate, but the overall goal is for you, the teachers and faculty and staff, not to have to learn and worry about all these different technologies. And so we try and integrate with everything we think that you might need or want so that you've got one simple solution, one place to go. And so with this LMS integration, you can run your meeting history reports related to Zoom. You can schedule your Zoom meetings. You can launch your Zoom meetings. And you also have the ability to view who attended those meetings, what time somebody came in, what time they left, really anything that you might need. SSO integration, so that refers to single sign-on. I'm not going to focus too much on it. I'm happy to take more questions about that. But if it is something your organization uses, you will know. And we do have that integration. Briefly, if any of you come in the morning to your computer, we've got all these different applications that we use. It allows you a single sign-on, and you instantly are connected and logged into every single application. We have that, so if you want to add Zoom to those applications that you sign into, it's not a problem. Kaltura integration, we have that. It is a marketing tool that allows you to integrate with Zoom, based really around the reports, the logs of the meetings. Customization, I've already talked a little bit about. If there's ever a question about, can Zoom do this? Let us know. I'd say probably, I was going to say 10 times out of 10, but 9 times out of 10, we can build it, create it, or we already do it. Waiting room. This is a fun one. This refers to, I'm meeting with a student, or maybe it's an office hour. But the office hours, I can create sort of an open meeting that allows students to come and go as they please. The waiting room functionality allows me to push somebody kind of outside until I'm ready to bring them in. So if I am talking to someone confidential or private, they don't have to worry about somebody else joining that session. And then Chromebooks is a big one, obviously, in education. We recently added that, and we do have that ability now too.